In this episode of The Blueprint, we will cover employment. Employment plays a major part in the economic stability of a community. It is common knowledge that the higher the unemployment rates in a community, the higher the crime rates. Conclusion: more jobs, less crime, and less jobs, more crime. Employment and income directly affect the culture and behavior of the community. It also affects the public services and infrastructure of underserved communities. Let's break this down. When crime is on the rise, large and small businesses leave the community. When businesses and jobs leave the community, property tax, operating tax, and sales tax, paid by those businesses, leave the community. When crime goes up, residents also leave those communities. When residents move out, the community property tax and their income tax leave the community as well. The taxes that residents and businesses pay are the taxes that drive every government auxiliary, like your local school system, your police department, as well as street and sanitation and water department. The less funding your school system has, the more overcrowded, underfunded, and understaffed the school system is. Subsequently, the school system then gets worse, which results in more dropouts. More dropouts means more crime. More crime means the police are even more overwhelmed. The police department is less funded and is not sufficiently staffed, and they become overwhelmed. This cyclical dynamic is how the problems are created and perpetuated in the community. In addition to these issues, unemployment also creates an epidemic of people living on public aid. The more unemployment, the more the government is paying out welfare, food stamps, and Section 8 assistance, as well as other forms of public aid. Now, in addition to the state and local government losing money, it is also paying out large sums of money every month for years. A large part of the government generating money is the government saving money. This issue prevents the government from being able to have a surplus, and also creates a welfare state. We will use our understanding of how these cycles interconnect to break the cycles. For the government to reverse the effects of the economic patterns, it has to be a priority for the government to create jobs in the community. The government can do this with tax policy. State and local governments use tax policy to create jobs in every major city. The mayor or governor might give a tax break to a corporation for relocating to their city, creating jobs. The state and local government, however, has not been effective at getting jobs to poor communities. The state and local government can be more effective at creating jobs in these communities by making sure that the tax policy is geographically targeted to high crime areas. The tax policy needs to outline specific requirements to ensure that the corporation is in compliance with guidelines that will create the best results for the program. The program needs to make sure that the corporation will create a substantial number of full-time jobs with advancement opportunities in the community. The policy should require corporations to pay a viable livable wage, also determined by the government. The policy should create provisions for people who come out of prison to be able to work through a work program. Lastly, the policy should require the corporation to stay in the city for a minimum of 7 to 10 years to ensure long-term results. When the job creation policy is deployed for the city, if the policy is created effectively, it will create long-term gainful employment. Once jobs are created, income tax revenue comes back to the community. When residents in the community have more money available, they spend more money at their local vendors like grocery stores and gas stations, increasing the sales tax revenue. More jobs means more residents are renting and buying in the neighborhood, increasing property tax revenue. The government will also start to save money on public aid. As jobs return to the neighborhood, the recipients of public aid starts to decrease, making more money available. When more tax dollars are available, the state and local government now has a choice where to spend money in the infrastructure. Spending more money in the school system will result in a better school system and subsequently in a lower dropout rate and crime rate. Although the school system should be the first priority for the government investing in infrastructure, if the government wants to, they can also increase the amount of police on the street, lowering crime on the street even more. This will wrap up our segment on how to use employment to attack social economic problems. Like and subscribe to this channel to get notifications when we drop new videos.